Yo, what's the word?
Yo, yo, how y'all rocking?
Family, 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 man. It's good to be here, man.
Right.
It's a
Blessed.
lot going on in the world. I feel like that's every episode we start with.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, since we really started this shit, we've been in unprecedented times almost every other week, I feel like. So.
Yeah, low key. Well, yeah. Welcome to another episode of Building with Mars and Big Esco. I'm Big Esco. This is my brother Mars.
Yo, yo.
Yeah, man. We're here fighting the good fight. It's May. Summer's right around the corner. Summer's too hot. You can feel it in the streets.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
poet once said
for
one
sure.
day. But I kind of want to start this off a little bit. Yeah, man. We are advertisers
Mm-hmm.
by profession,
Mm-hmm.
a trade, I guess you would say. And the economy, gas prices, jobs lost, um, all the things that you have to take into consideration working on campaigns,
Mm-hmm.
forecasting the next year, the next six
Right,
months, the
right, right.
whatever. Um, how are you feeling about? I know how you feel, you
Right.
know, but just as we're watching these things kind of unfold live time, the war is kind of continuing. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, gas prices,
It's
they're
supposed to
saying,
be 2 weeks now. It's about six of them or 2 months, basically.
yeah, and they're saying that gas prices on average might hit $6.
Yeah, I'm at my studio today recording. On the way here in Chicago, it's already $6 a gallon in certain places. I saw 5.99 literally at a BP on the way here. And we're
Yeah,
not even downtown. This was out west a little bit. So
yeah, and
yeah.
St. Louis is definitely over 4.5
Oh
in
wow.
certain places. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a real trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the what how are you feeling about that, man? Like it's a lot to unpack there.
It it's just funny to me because this is a war of choice. We're not really retaliating for nothing. They didn't do nothing to us. They was minding their own business. The Strait of Hormuz was working as it was supposed to be working, yada yada yada. And then motherfucking Netanyahu sit up there and either finesses or coerces us, America, them really. I'm don't put me actually with the bomb. I'm not associated with that action by any means. And it just has been hell ever since, bro. The volatility. I mean, I know you be investing a little bit in all that too, or whatever. And like, yeah, my portfolio is decent, but like, it's one of them things where it's like the stock market doing well, which especially Trump, but a lot of politicians in general tend to kind of like use that as some sort of a benchmark for the actual economy. And it's like what they call the kitchen table issues because we also in an election year or whatever. The cost of gas, the cost of people's electricity bills, especially with these data centers, and now we about to have a bigger strain on energy because we're about to be short oil. We're about to be in an energy crisis. So it's just so many things to be thinking about. I was talking to somebody, it might have been Kingsley or whatever, and I was even just saying like the plastic that like is used in like it's oil that's held back for the plastics that's in so many things that we as everyday people use and consume. And then when you layer in the fact that like this AI situation is happening with like the layoffs and all of that, and everybody kind of has heard the news by now that like we virtually netted no new jobs last year outside of the healthcare industry, which as our American population continues to age, there will always be openings for more that's already like a very big industry to be growing in anyway. We
Right.
fat, sick, and stupid in America, so we're going to need that. But other than that, bro, we in a recession, and between the layoffs and the budget cuts and all these other things, as we start to get ramped up for upfronts on the media side, as well as just kind of like pitches for next year, it's going to be very interesting. We got the mergers and acquisitions also going down. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm grateful to have a job. I actually do enjoy my coworkers and the work that I do. So I'm blessed in that regard. But like, I'm also just humbled every day because this shit ain't promised to nobody. And I feel like every other week it's another 3 to 30,000 people getting laid off of their jobs.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Every day I feel a little bit more gratitude to be in the position that I'm in and able to have a job, of course. But like we talked about the last episode with Julian, it's made me hyper focused on what's next in my career and just trying to prepare for the unknown. I think
Mm,
that right now is the biggest thing that people, millennials for sure, are probably grappling with.
mm-hmm,
It's just like, and I would probably say Gen X is just like the unknown because we're not near
mm-hmm.
retirement, and the people that are trying to retire, I mean, they don't know what's happening either.
Right, right,
But they're so far they're along in their career, and they aren't prioritizing work anymore.
right, 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 right.
Having a parent that is trying to retire, my mom,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like one of those things that I think that for the pandemic for me just was a great reminder that like yeah I shouldn't prioritize my career in my
Mm.
life
When
because
you say that, you mean just kind of like make that like your like that's your number one on your list of priorities for real instead
yeah
of life and everything else that you got going on. Got
yeah I try not to make that the center of it. That's not
mm-hmm.
the heart of what I'm doing kind of.
Right, right,
It is the fuel for a lot of the other things that I do, but just like prioritizing myself in a different type of way and like just my well-being. And that feels incredibly hard right now. And you know, you don't want to log off and kind of just ignore what's happening,
right.
but there is a balance of trying to keep your sanity and doom scrolling. And unfortunately, I happen to be a part of I guess online. I would say, unfortunately, the most unserious group of people, which are black people, and it's just like no matter what happens, the world is burning. Like we're just not never gonna be too concerned with
Yeah,
that.
niggas was probably joning on each other in the slave ships for real.
Had to be, you know what I'm saying? Had to be in between everything else.
Right,
So
right, right, right.
so you know, I just try to keep that in mind too. You know.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real, man. I'm working on some stuff at work, and I can't get too much into it, but essentially, we're having these conversations just about the future, especially even for Gen Z, because you know, like the whole
Oh, I think we lost you there for a second. Oh, there you go.
yeah, I don't know who that was, but yeah, no, it's the unemployment rate is higher than the national average, and then I come to find out that young male college grads actually have the same unemployment rate as non-college like cats who didn't go to college. So it's rough out here for the guys, the fellas, you know, as we are guys, and they've been having this whole conversation for a couple years about the young men crisis and all of that. I we have talked on this subject from time to time, and I'm sure we will continue to because it's just a part of who we are. It's not even a branding thing; it's just what be on our minds for real, for real. But like we at a point where we really do need like leadership and vision for this country, bro. Like the way that we are getting robbed blind, even with the ballroom situation, that was supposed to be his money first and foremost, then donations, then what? Because we're also where is your money, bro? You keep saying that you got bread, you don't pay for shit, but it's always you trying to get us to pay for it, or you sue the Justice Department for indicting you on some shit that you really did, but you was able to
Right.
beat the case because you rigged the system, and now you're trying to sue for $10 billion. It's just thievery going on, and I don't know what it's going to look like when we go into the treasury after Buddy get up out of here, and it's like, where are the money that we printed and inflated the economy at? Where
Mm,
is it? Where is
mm.
it?
You know
Um,
where it is. You said it.
yeah,
It's in the
it,
stock market.
right.
You said
In
where it is.
in
That's
a
exactly
for
where
a
it is.
shell account in the Virgin Islands.
Mhm.
And like honestly, bro, because peeling back even outside of America, globally, it's a lot of uncertainty going on. America is like kind of that anchor that the rest of the world still kind of either follows or bounces off of, and like Yeah, it's civil unrest a lot of places, not a lot of economic opportunity. And the one thing that I can say is China whooping our ass, bro. They are very much so speculating on the AI bubble because these companies are not necessarily worth nothing, but drastically overvalued. And China is coming through and undercutting them, basically wrapping all of they damn AI companies and giving them to people for free or open source or for dirt cheap. That undercuts the business model of an open AI because
Right.
you're not worth as much and people are willing to, they don't have to pay for you. You
Right.
know, so it's a whole bunch. And BYD, I don't know if you saw, but like Ford and some of the other like automakers, they basically was like we have recently just restricted any Chinese made cars from getting sold in America
Mm.
because the automakers say that if we let them in, it would literally destroy the American auto industry, which I do think is true because you could buy 5 fucking BYD whips, trucks that look really good and go really well and are very efficient for the cost of one GMC truck, bro.
Yeah, and you know, I think my favorite thing that I've seen about AI, I think it was the McDonald's AI chat. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that one. I missed that one.
There was one of the fast food restaurants. They have an AI chat bot, and
Okay.
basically they somebody like put in there like trying to do some code or something like that. Because
Okay.
basically the chat bot is just an extension of like probably an actual LLM. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
so they was in there trying to do like uh Python shit and Python, excuse me,
Mm,
Python shit, and like was making
hmm.
code in the chat. So like oh McDonald's, I need some help. Can you do
Right.
this? Da 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 da. And the chat was just answering it. You know what I'm
Oh, that's
saying?
crazy.
And so it was like you got like a free. You know what I'm saying?
So you
So
could vibe code with the McDonald's LLM.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm
bro. So
saying?
I I remember, and I think we probably even talked about it before or whatever. Maybe not on the show, but I'd mentioned to an old CSO, former CSO of mine at my agency. And even when I first started my job, I was kind of starting to feel like this kind of coming out of the pandemic or whatever. But we we are experiencing the death of the corporation. And
Mm,
I'll be saying that, and that don't necessarily mean that we're seeing the end of big business. I do think
right.
large corporations, as far as size and scale goes, will still exist. But the way that corporations and brands existed is getting thrown on its hand between kind of that like rise of social media and the millennial brand that all became these big disruptors and like made Kraft have to worry about macaroni and cheese for the first time in 50, 60 years, all the
Mm-hmm.
way through like On and Hoka shaking shit up and like being on Nike seals, literally and figuratively, like those are real things. And I think we're going to continue to see that, especially with the rise of this AI thing, because one way or another, bro, the future of work is not going to be probably a standard 9 to 5, 40 hours a week anymore. There's going
Mm-mm.
to be a rise in entrepreneurship. It's already Gen Z on that. Like I've read a couple articles about kids literally on campus still building companies. I mean, you usually hear about that for some sort of tech startup, Zuckerberg starting
Right.
Facebook at Harvard. But like hypothetically, some kids are at Mizzou right now, like trying to start a food truck company and they flipping
Mm-hmm.
plates on the weekend. Like it's shit like that that's happening right now. So people can truly rely on themselves because it's so unpredictable. And software companies are being disrupted, SaaS is, and automakers, and we talking about automation, and Amazon is laying out people and starting to add robots into warehouses over here. So now your regular blue collar worker can't even like it's I don't know what the hell it's gonna look like. We need regulation on the AI first and foremost in order just to be able to reel it in some. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying we gotta ban it because it's got a lot of utility to it,
Mm-hmm.
but like we need to start figuring out how the hell we're going to protect people with this
Workers.
situation. And yeah, exactly. And also the environment, bro. Like we strained on the grid, and with less oil coming through, they literally at the like a week or two into this Iran shit, really a week or so after it was supposed to end and it kept going on, they started talking about cutting back on the lights for coal plants in West Virginia. We going back to coal, bro.
Hey
It's like,
man,
what we doing?
what
We need
are we
new
doing?
ideas.
Hey, you make a really sound point because in a lot of ways it feels like we're moving forward, but it also feels like we're moving backwards.
That's what
And
making America great again look like.
that ingenuity that maybe people had in the mid 20th century of mom and pop, it's just kind of coming back to that. It's not mom and pop, it's maybe you and your homie making a company, starting, you know what I'm saying, figuring that out. What is funny though is one thing that all those companies still need, oddly enough, even though it's the first thing people cut from their budgets, is marketing.
I thought you were gonna say black people because they need us too. But
I mean, everybody needs us. The world needs us. But I'm saying that to say though that, like, you know, you talk about people wanting to cut and in the name of productivity, but when you start to lose taste and curation, and you lose like people skills, I guess I would say, I think that it takes a lot of the heart and soul out of things that you make. And I'm starting to feel like it's just computers talking to computers at this point. You know, it's data, it's my agent talking to your agent. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I know you saw my I made a story the other day just telling people I think that they should, everybody writing, you know, want me to go on a Substack, all these different Substacks. I'm like, I would rather just send me to your website, bro, because I'm just not finna. I'm not about to start a Substack. Please share your articles with me, but I'm not just going. I don't want to start another social media app. And it's only really because when we were younger, at a certain point, everybody just got off of MySpace. Yeah. So you weren't talking to anybody. And, you know, Facebook is popping. Let every cool nigga you know say they not on Facebook, but every other nigga you know is on Facebook.
Right.
And I'm not on Blue Sky. I was on there for a second, but all the people that was on there were still tweeting. So I was just like, I mean,
right.
I guess I'm just still on Twitter, and then Instagram is just Instagram. You know what I mean? So I find I enjoy, and I mean, that's why we started it too. I enjoy watching creators and learning and seeing things on YouTube. That's probably my favorite space to be in, you know, and just learning and do things. So I'm more so in a space of like curiosity right now. I never believed that this would be my job for 50 years, though I don't have any plans on quitting anytime soon or anything like that.
Right.
Nor do I really have the desire to like hop around and get a better, like get the cooler job and move. Right. To me, all that shit is the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course, I know I might be leaving a few more dollars on the table, but again, like, I'm not really centering that. I'm able to take care of my family, and that's just all I'm really trying to continue to do for real.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, either you code or you not, bro. It's kind of, it's starting to get back to that to me. It's like I work with a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of people who have had jobs across a lot of agencies, and some people suck, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? And the people that don't always seem to continue to find a way to survive.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the people that are lost just kind of continuing to be lost and find their way. You know what I mean? So all the AI is doing to me is just making it really obvious of who cares. But to your point, outside of the workers, I would say that we really need to regulate AI for our young people. I was reading an article on Twitter, and a woman was talking about a sixth grader, and the schools are just implementing, you know, they give students laptops, they give them iPads, and it's got Gemini on there, it's got this on there. And, you know, you're a sixth grader, you like, make this slide, start write my paper. The critical thinking is leaving, you know. And so ironically enough, all of our bosses that run our companies are probably too old to really get into AI.
Right.
And then the people who are younger than us that maybe you feel like don't care about having a job yet and shit like that. So to me, that puts us in a window of at least another 10 years where people just might continue to cycle us around, you know what I mean, in this industry. So I don't know.
No, for sure. And I know we had a little bit of a back and forth about the subset thing, but I know before we move on, but I will say one of my creative directors at my job who I fuck with heavily, I agree with him, but he did say today in a meeting actually that he feels that with the rise of so much slop, AI and just beyond, because people may be making slop and it ain't even AI, it's just bullshit content. but he says like the value of like really good personal websites is he thinks that that's really gonna come back to like being at a high premium. And I felt him with that. I know when my main takeaway with the Substack thing was just like, what about building that email list? It's I think it's a great opportunity that's right there in front of you for building an email list if that's something that you care about. We know as marketers how valuable an email list is. I think it's a good kind of like one-stop shop to be able to build that up with social components and extensions to other things. But I do think that outside of that, yes, having a regular website that looks really cool and is engaging. But again, like you were saying, like you gonna see who nice or not for real, for real. Because like if you good, people gonna go to your shit. You still gonna have to get on social and promote it or whatever. But people
Yeah.
had to be a shameless self promoter before the social media rise and all these other things. You always have to get out there, hustle your DVD, freestyle on the corner, get out there, whatever the hell it was, Shark Tank your shit. So you got to have that sort of mindset and that sort of hustle about you. But I do think that taste, that curation, that individual perspective, like people trust you more when you have an educated, informed perspective on things.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about music for a second. We haven't talked about music in a while.
How academics the best hip hop journalists in the game right now.
I mean, hey, I'm not here.
It's fine. It's fine. I appreciate
I'm not here to say hip hop. It's funny because it's like I guess the taste of what, like if you're 24, like when I was 24, I still wanted to read kind of like a profile on Kendrick Lamar and Drake, stuff like that. Now it's much more gossip. Like I didn't really care. I'm not saying that people didn't, but I didn't really care about who Pharrell was dating.
Right.
Who so and so was doing XYZ with. Now because everything is so like gossipy, rumors, stuff like that, you lose so much of the nuance and detail that we used to have in journalism. Music journalism in particular. I feel like sports journalism still exists in a way. Shout out to Pablo Torre for winning a Pulitzer.
I feel like they kind of protect their like inner cults a little. Well, not cult, but like their secret society a little bit more. Like,
well,
you should pay your dues a little bit.
No, the problem is ESPN just didn't start only showing reality TV. MTV and all the music channels just was like, well, we're just not doing music anymore. They just bailed on music. And to be honest, if Sabrina Carpenter was on TRL, people would watch it. If Young Thug was on Rap City, people would tune in.
Yeah, for sure.
And it kind of goes back to that conversation around, we talked about the major networks and late night television and the turn to, oh yeah, why aren't you just putting it on live at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m.? Why aren't you just going live on YouTube and now everybody can watch it, kind of a thing? And then you rerun it on TV and you kind of get that. I think it's that same kind of a thing. And when music curation got boiled down to the playlist,
right, in algorithms. Oh
yeah.
boy.
So, but I will say it's been some music that's come out. I really enjoyed Sexy Red's project.
I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but every song that I've heard like played and posted, it's been pretty damn good.
I just want to say I appreciate the fact that St. Louis got like a DJ Holiday mixtape.
Oh, type shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's something that I really appreciate from Sexy Red. It's her love for trap classics.
Right. Yes, yeah. Even got them records, bitch. I got the racks, bitch. I'm like, oh wow, all right.
I like that. It bitches.
Yeah.
It bitches is my she really one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? I know Isaiah Rashad had dropped recently.
Yeah, I gave it like 2 spins. I don't know. I feel like it feels like an autumn kind of record for me, energetically, for real, and like a rainy evening, maybe in the summertime kind of vibe with the candles on. Yeah. I didn't dislike it. I think musically it still sounded good, but like I'm not in the headspace to listen to like some of the heavier content that's on it. But it's still good. I give it like a 4, 3, 5, 4.
He understands music So it's gonna always be hard for him to kind of make
Make a
bad
beat.
music in that sense.
Mhm.
But I'm not really interested in it.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting to me.
Right,
Like
right,
I
right.
I heard his story. He had a decent interview with the Breakfast Club, which I thought was, kind of address some of the things, but he seems very unintentional to me.
Could be. I think
And just from the answers that he was giving and some of the stuff that they were asking him, like, "Oh, you said this and that," he was like, "Oh, I just kind of was saying that. I didn't really think about that." I'm like,
right.
I guess I don't know.
Right. No, I know it's a lot of hints on like the addiction and kind of the crashing out and the kids and the family and all these other things. I don't know if he's fully out of whatever his darker space is as well.
Clearly not.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm sure that's probably part of it. Also like you just owe the label another album, so you got to get your shit off and keep it moving. You're in the
yeah,
pipeline. His legacy alone and his discography is good enough that like he hasn't lost me as a fan just because I didn't love the album. I'll
yeah,
still tune into the next one. Like he's a very capable rapper and musician. But I definitely feel you. And I mean, maybe it is a little bit of aloofness up in there and probably like I don't even know if I don't know if it's a market employee. I've seen a couple like content creator, like strategy content creators and things like that kind of talk about not trying, kind of becoming like a thing, like you're trying to not try or whatever and to look cool. And,
right.
but on the antithesis, it's like try, on the Tyler the Creator tip, like actually put some effort into it or whatever. So I don't know if he in that space or bro really truly just like don't give a fuck for real. Cause also that could be it, him just high and partying. He's going to go on tour. The tour's still going to pay his bills for a couple of
Do
years.
well. I
Yeah,
guess that's a good point. Like to me, it feels so routine.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
so I could just pick this album up whenever. I'm a guy that like hits, but I'm also a type of person, especially for my rappers.
Mm-hmm.
No, he needs to for me to be into it. Yeah, you need to start making the gay rap songs. Let's go all the way. But
Might
it's
as
like,
well, shit, or at least
what are
be
we
on your
doing?
buy shit. Tyler at least buy. He be on his I like girls and guys. Isaiah Rashad literally has children, so he got into some poom poom, but he fuck with the boys too. And it's a great space to be, especially for guys like him or Tyler the Creator or Playboy Cardi could probably even get a little gay with his shit. Like they can get into a little bit more ambiguity and fluidity with their shit for real, for real. But I think also, I don't know if because that would also force you to try because the gays and the girls, what they say, they gagging motherfuckers, goddamn me. Like they put a lot of effort and detail and they try. Like, you can tell that they really try. And I think it is sometimes easier to just be like a rapping ass nigga at times.
Yeah.
But then it's like you gotta at least try to rap really fucking well.
Yeah, and he can rap. It's kind of I went back and I revisited Wale's project
Mm.
and kind of
The
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 similar,
more recent one that just came out.
yeah, everything is
Okay.
a lot. And you know, you talk about the rap big three, the rap supremacy, who is the king. It's been blown up. We 2 years post the beef.
Yeah, right.
And the biggest difference between Wale and Kendrick to me is it's like two things when I listen to it. Even I would
Okay.
say J. Cole. It's
Okay.
like for Wale to me, there's a lack of production there.
Mm.
And like for I think the success that he wants to have. And there is a lack of maturity in
Mm.
his music and his personal life.
Mm.
Because it's like since a mixtape about nothing, you like here's why I like Future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Future might be the problem, but he makes music about that.
Mm.
And it's like an acceptance where I don't know if I want to hear you be in the middle on whether or not you want to mature. Like, I don't
Right,
know.
right,
I know
right,
the
right.
right thing to do and I'm struggling with the right thing to do. So then if you do that for so long, it makes you feel like a bad person.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, you and also like, what are your morals? What are your like? Who are you? Because time still moves forward. You still grow older. I could let a young nigga maybe in a low to mid 20s get on that, but I say post 27 on some having been past 27 now 27 to 30 is like that back end of them 20s is get a little muddy, a little tight, but you're
Right.
really trying to work through whatever it is that you're trying to become in life. Like that's like the last little piece of time I can really give somebody a pass for not knowing where they're trying to be or who they're trying to be. Because at least with Future, there is an acceptance. He is a piece of shit, but he's a fire ass musician at the same time. And I know sometimes the morality police might, knock you for listening to Future or whomever and yada 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 yada. That's a
Right.
thing, but that comes with it. And I think for that artist, they know that as well,
Yeah.
as opposed to being conflicted into your 30s in the sense of Drake, which a lot of people have been speculating. Hope was talking about Drake with the maturity line in the Times interview. Pretty solid interview. Could have been better, but like I liked how he gave his anecdotes on things
Yeah.
or whatever. But like, yeah, it can go beyond Drake. It could be Future as well. It could be Thug. Like a lot of these guys in their 30s and 40s at this point, it's like, actually, yes, you should grow up, bro. Because nobody want to be 70 and alone, and the shit that you doing, you gonna be 70 and alone, motherfucker, and you could be rich and live a hell of a life and literally die with nobody around, bro. It happens all the time, especially for men.
You know what
So
I mean?
honestly, I'm not saying that everybody should necessarily like level the fuck up. I encourage everyone to level the fuck up and become, especially for black men, a better
Just give it an
man.
honest effort.
Yeah, but at least like if you're gonna lay in your bed as a piece of shit, like Future, do it. At least you're gonna die like a rock star. You a Rolling Stone.
At least have the hits. That's all I'm saying.
That too, a
At least
Rolling
have the
Stone.
hits. You know what I'm saying? And I really liked Wale Project. You know what I'm saying? But as I
Mhm.
listen to it, and it's like content and the things that, like I said, a person like Kendrick might get praised for. He's hitting on those same notes. He's
Mm.
in that same bubble of introspection.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just feel like Kendrick has better beats.
That's
And
real.
and I think that that is lost in rap. And I would even say like kind of like I feel like Isaiah Rashad is kind of in that too. I feel like a lot of people feel like you can only be introspective over a slow ass beat.
Right.
And it's just
Which
like
isn't true, but
that's
yeah,
not true.
yeah.
Literally, Extra to Izzo is like introspective as fuck. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But it's just like, but that's not to compare everybody to Jay-Z or nothing like that. That's a little unfair.
Yeah,
But
that's a tall order.
yeah, so nobody's gonna reach that order. But no, it's been, everybody I feel like in rap is trying to get out of the way, see what Drake is gonna do. You know,
Which is supposed to be coming what any week now?
next week.
Oh,
No,
okay, cool.
yeah, in a week, May 15th, next Friday.
Yeah, nice. All right. He
May
was
15th.
so hot that the fire department had to put the ice sculpture out,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for it, honestly, at this point. I want to listen to some new Drake. It's
yeah, I
been
want to
that
hear what the
long.
fuck
I don't even hate the nigga no more. He lost to Kendrick. I ain't got no bad blood. I want to hear it hit.
Yeah, we gonna see. I just think that I just hope that he at least deliver a great Drake album. I know that like his fans are going to ride super hard for him regardless. And I'm
Regardless,
a
yeah.
Drake and Kendrick fan. So like I enjoyed all of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
No matter who would have won, I would have been like, oh shit, that was tight. But
Yeah. Because it was tight. It was
yeah,
hip hop
regardless,
history.
whoever won, it would have been tight. But I kind of feel like now he's just gonna double down in the debauchery. That's kind of my
That is what my assumption is as well. I don't feel like Drake has all of a sudden like grown as a man in all of this. It probably just made him more vengeful on some Scorpio shit. He was looking for revenge. And like, yeah, a lot of sneak disses, a lot of shots fired, some features, some hits, some sassy boy comments about some women that he's dated in the past. We're gonna get textbook Drake, but those are the things that make a great Drake album, it seemed like. As a outsider looking in, that's what it seemed like all of his fans really fuck with.
No, 10 years removed from views.
Was it? Yeah.
From Views, which was a project I didn't like initially, but by the end of that 2016, I was like very much so into Views, and it has remained probably my I don't know if it's my favorite Drake project, but it's definitely one or two for sure.
That's real. Even for me, which like again, I don't consider myself like in the fan club of Drake, but as a music listener and a hip hop aficionado, it would be up there as well. Like I think that for me is probably his best, like most cohesive project that like catches him at the height of everything. some of the earlier joints that like, you could see the growth and progression. And I love the Drake story. Like Drake get the documentary in 20 years is going to be awesome. I will absolutely be watching that. I want to see that BTS footage and them and like them stories for real, for real. But like, I think that's a big reason why so many people who are long-term fans really fucked with him. Between like the college shit and J. Cole and so many memories and to like actually seeing like this slightly like reluctant superstar, awkward Canadian kid end up becoming like the biggest artist in the world, even not just rapper. Like he was he was Bad Bunny before Bad Bunny popped up for real, for real. Like that's a hell of a story. It's an American dream story. Hip hop is also an aspect of the American dream. So there's a lot to really unpack there. Then when you get into the controversy and the beef and all the other shit, and it's kind of like that little boom, boom. And it's like, how do we bounce back from it? Like how do I might come back from the injury or retirement or whatever and do it all over again. It's like it's in that phase for him. So I'm excited to see what the story looks like. But for me, I guess, and I mean, I'm biased as a young black man. I would love to see him be a little bit more on dad mode, on community mode, on like I'm doing things for my city mode, on actually finally saying something on the politics side. Like, I just don't respect niggas that don't think about that type of shit. You're an adult. Like you're an adult. Like you don't think about it and have an opinion on it. And when you have such a large platform, I'm not saying that every big artist needs to say something, but you're Drake and your audience is not fucking Moneybag Yo's audience. You can absolutely get some. He has Moneybag Yo fans that are also fans of his. But yeah, like he got enough room to get into that. And he ain't even got to be Kendrick, let alone even Drake Cole about the shit. But I don't know, Drake's vulnerability always being caught up in like being petty and just kind of like being mad that somebody kind of wronged him over something that, you were a child superstar, bro. Like it was probably something that you was actually being a brat about anyway. Just kind of like, whatever, bro. Like you 40.
Yeah. And that just wasn't your whole thing at one point in time.
Yeah.
So like as niggas, that's just their whole thing. It's just hard to overlook because to your point, his core fans, his first generation of core fans, kind of like Kanye, didn't care about his shortcomings.
Right.
And so when he tried to like fit in with Atlanta niggas, that's where shit just kind of got a little weird for him or whatever. So to your point, we should be like, who knows the level of music? And this is a good transition. Who knows the level of music that he could be making if he had not felt like he needed a hit for the strip club? Because as a DJ that's in a much more southern city than you are right now, the average nigga music taste here is trash. Like,
I'm sure.
Just on average, like when you're average, I'm going out. The average going out club, strip club.
I know my hometown, brother.
Lounge, attendee. On average, their music taste is trash.
Nah, for sure. And it's crazy. I know we about to bounce over, but I've been listening to like OG, like mixtape Drake recently, and I came across like a story of talking about like how Drake still owe Fonte that verse, so they never did it. That would be I would be like, you know what, Drake, I love this album if you just actually made right with Fonte and have Fonte or Foreign Exchange fucking feature or a sample or something. Just nod the head to it, a Dilla flip, anything, bro. Like a little bit of that OG core element. But also, as you said, those do be the kind of beats that be bringing out certain shit out of people. I think it's also for audiences easier to listen to. Everybody can't do the whole shit and like actually be introspective on like a hit record. So I get it. Ye can kind of drop some bars here and there, but like, it's hard. But hey, we talking about greats like Jay, like Ye, like Michael Jackson, like
Kendrick, bro.
Yeah.
When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan?
Exactly.
Go back and listen to that shit. After I seen Michael, I was like, hey man, yeah. I mean, for my vote, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick got my vote just for that. You know what I'm saying? Just
are you talking about what when you say your vote?
My vote is just like just this generation. Drake's gonna drop the album. Now, if Drake drop Blueprint, I'm gonna give
that'd be the first Drake concert I go to on that tour.
You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna go. But it's just like, nah, this man Kendrick, he he representing something different that when white media enters into black spaces, and this is a good segue into Michael Jackson in the Michael movie. When white media enters into black spaces, especially music, they like to downplay the parts that they don't understand. And a lot of times that's why a lot of black artists who find another demographic and another level of popularity then say, well, I'll start to do this more because this is what they understand.
Right.
They don't understand this other part over here. And, you know,
the Shabuzi syndrome.
Oh man, I feel so bad.
I feel want to rap so bad
every time I see him.
You say what?
I feel so bad for Shabuzi every time I see him.
He's stuck in the sunken place.
He's stuck because it's like it ain't no record he can make that his label gonna then put him on the R&B station, push that, like you stuck, and it's like
he be at the Soul Train and BET Awards. Like
I don't know why.
But he a nigga, he African, but like he a nigga from Texas, bro. He be fucking with black people. He probably be there with his mom and his family, but he
and I'll say this,
he ain't gonna get in that space.
I know that ain't everything. You can't control everything. You ever seen Tipsy video? You ever seen that bar song video?
No, I haven't seen his. No, I haven't.
Ain't no Nigerians in the fucking video.
Oh, that's crazy.
Ain't no black people in the fucking video. He's the only nigga in the video, Mars. That's why I'm being funny, but I'm being serious. Like, I don't know why he goes to that shit. He literally didn't have a black person in the video. And I don't think I'm misplacing that. I'm pretty sure like the bar song of the video is kind of like they did like a rap video, Mike. Okay. Yeah, it's just some white dudes in the background. He's just singing Tipsy. I'm like, bro, you couldn't get a couple. You couldn't get the sisters in there. You couldn't get, you know
right.
It's Texas to your point.
Exactly.
I'm just like, you ain't got no Latinos in there.
Yeah.
You just, so I'm not here to shit on Shabuzi. Like I said, I feel bad for Shabuzi.
Yeah.
Saying that to say, after seeing the Michael movie, first off, shout out to the whole cast. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Michael Jackson stan. We got Mike in the studio. Where Mike? Yeah, there go Mike.
Oh yeah, the cut. Is that the Bad album cover?
Yeah.
I'm
playing. We got Mike Yams and Malcolm X up here. You know what I'm saying? We black.
The three-headed headless horseman of black consciousness and miracle work.
But saying that to say that, like, yeah, I'm Michael Jackson stan. So initially, when they said they making a Michael Jackson movie, your initial thought is, oh man, it's been these years. We're gonna get a look at something we haven't really got a look at.
Right.
That was not this story. That was not this story. But what I think this story does a good job of is just reminding people who love Michael Jackson why they love him.
Yeah.
People who don't fuck with Mike, they just don't fuck with him. They feel how they feel. But if you love Mike, it was a reminder on why you love Mike.
Right.
And I think as black people right now, that's really important because it's a lot of black people that get caught up in the algorithm and want to bash greatness so that they can just be on the other side. And I'm not saying Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, whoever you want to, LeBron, whoever is not above reproach. And I agree with everything that they do because that's totally not the case. But there should always be a space for people who aren't committing crimes, which Michael Jackson never got found guilty of no crimes after they did all that shit. It's just that, like, you got to appreciate greatness, bro. And at the end of the day, whether they rich or poor, Michael Jackson, they still treated Michael like a nigga.
Right.
And, it's unfortunate, like I said, that he got so separated. It's unfortunate that his family treated him the way that they did. And it's unfortunate that he just got so separated from reality.
Yeah. I think that's literally Michael Jackson.
You literally Michael Jackson. You've never been nothing that you can remember other than Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So, man.
No, for sure. I thought, and I'm sure the family probably also was okay with co-signing a film like this because it did do a really decent job of like humanizing them. For real. I would have loved to see Janet Jackson up in the film too, but like I get that she good on that. That's fine. I just would have loved to see what a Janet Jackson involved in some of that stuff is, because Latoya is there for no reason. Damn. um,
Especially if they're not gonna show her doing Playboy.
right, right. But yeah, no, all of that, man, and just really thinking about so much of his like history and legacy. Cause like I wouldn't necessarily call myself a stan of MJ, but big fan. And I mean, as a fan of music, like how can you black music? How could you not, black people, black culture? How could you not be a fan of Michael Jackson? And I'm just going through and watching the movie or whatever and seeing all of the things that I know. Like these are like timeline, like points in timelines of Michael Jackson's life and career, the aspects of the abuse, the big breakout in motherfucking Chicago behind Gladys Knight and them. You know, that lawyer sit down meeting, same lawyer representing Bob Dylan and the Beach Boys. Then thinking about Michael Jackson and his catalog and him being so rich, he bought the Beatles shit. Then motherfuckers like it's so much that's really wrapped up in it or whatever. And I kind of just watched, I'm not sure because I didn't ask you if you heard of it. So I'm not sure if you have or haven't, but it's a play called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom as well. And I recently saw that with my girl this past weekend. Also a great play, but it has a lot of those undertones of like race and corporations, i.e. white people finessing black artists, you know, exploiting them. I love your point that you made about how white people typically focus on the things that they understand for real. And then there are certain artists that like lean into that. And then I that play in general was hella good. And Ma Rainey knew about that. So she had that sort of wisdom as she approached how she went about working and recording and not letting the labels fuck her over. But then I think about Mike, a real nigga from Gary, that also, because the other side, and I wish that there was a little bit of some of them behind the scenes type of stories. I would love to see Michael with the high pitched voice publicly and the deeper voice that niggas be talking about when he's not around nobody else. Just like a couple of those little subtle hints of like that extra aspect of the humanity of Michael Jackson. But I think, especially in the Peter Pan, Neverland kind of context, I think it did a really good job of that. But to me, when I was younger and empathized with Mike, you know, and things like that, and just kind of as I'm growing older as a teenager, just seeing the jokes and the hatred and, you know, the legacy and the impact and the influence. And I do have relatives who are stans. I know motherfuckers that have cried, like my big guy cousins, 6'3" motherfuckers crying to Ben and shit like that when we were teenagers, bro. Like, I know his impact really be real. I still vividly remember the day he passed away. And like, we was stuck in rush hour traffic, bro. And everybody had their motherfucking cars on. It's like 100.3 the beat. They running through hella Michael Jackson songs. And when people crying, it's all type of shit. So to like see a lot of those things and just realize that like, bro really didn't know reality since he was like 10, bro. Like you were a star from so, and I empathize with a lot of former child celebrities or whatever, current ones right now, you know, the Disney curse and all this other stuff. And even a Keke Palmer, like it's really interesting to like live your life in public since you were a preteen basically. But it's a totally different thing because kid or not, you were Michael Jackson, bro. Like it's hard to fathom like what being a Beyonce or Drake or Bad Bunny is. There's a level of fame and acclaim on top of that. You're not famous for no reason. You really earned your keep because you that nice with your shit,
bro.
It's a totally different thing. So to like look at the film through that lens, it was really touching home a lot of the time, bro.
Yeah, I think the thing that and it's been good because it's made me go back and listen to Mike, and I've been like deep diving. And you know, as a musician, I've studied Michael because I just wanted to learn his process and how somebody could make songs as good. How do you pick the songs? So that's like when my stamina like went way up for Michael, and it was around the time too when he died when we started putting out music. So it was just very relevant at that time, and coming back to music now and his death being remembered in a lot of ways, his life being remembered, the movie. It's a reminder, I think, that I took away was how hip Michael Jackson was.
Right.
And how cool, like, and that's kind of what I was saying about like, that's kind of what we're saying about like, Wale, who struggles with his identity being a Nigerian American. Drake, who deals with his identity being a mixed black man in the world, in that way. You know what I'm
You're not
saying?
even American. You coming into an American culture, an American
That's
art
way
form.
deeper than that that you don't understand. That you immediately, when it was time for you to understand it and show your understanding, you immediately didn't understand any of it. And like for him to just the incorporation of the dance moves, like people take for granted, like popping, breaking, hip hop elements that Michael Jackson was doing in 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985. It says that like the 80s, and it was so subtle. Like I literally watched Thriller this morning just because it was on YouTube regular. I was like
that's tight. That's tight.
I just watched Thriller this morning for no reason. And when you think about the video star and how many stars were around him, the industry, you could now, looking back, we can say probably the music industry probably peaked in the 80s. You look at the 90s and how the music industry was in 1999 and where it was like Napster and Eminem and all that kind of shit. Where it went.
89.
You know what I'm saying? Hip hop hadn't peaked yet.
But
the music industry probably peaked then. And it's just like, it's incredible what he was doing. Now, on the flip side of that, man, I don't think that you got more dramatic black celebrity gossip. It peaks with the Jacksons, bro, because it's so many people. Like, I read a story today how Tina Turner shot, was it Randy Jackson?
Like, what?
Shot him with a gun.
What?
Randy Jackson. These niggas are crazy. Randy Jackson was cheating, I think, on his wife with Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul like choreographed something for the Jacksons, like after the victory tour part, something like that. So then, you're a fucking Jackson. So you doing what your brother, doing what your brothers did. You're doing what your daddy did. Right. And so we talk about that maturity, and so he does something. Paula Abdul goes to Tina Turner's house because she's just hanging out with her, and she's just like, yeah, Randy tripping. He gonna come over here like he tweaking. Randy goes through the gated community, climbs over a fence to go into Tina Turner's house, breaks a window, climbs through the window.
What the fuck you doing? Breaking my window.
Tina Turner says, hey, you tripping, you need to stop. I don't know what his reaction was to that, and she shot that nigga.
Oh man, yeah. See, I mean, granted, that ain't a Mike story, but like, I would love for that to be in the Jackson family saga that come after the Mike shit, because that's nuts, bro.
Now, I think my prediction to Alexia was that with Joe dying, with Catherine being the age that she is, and with so many of their children being adults now, they are the executive producers of this movie, his brothers and stuff. Do you want to put your family back into those crosshairs? Because now, if we do that, we can't really look at Jafar the same. Totally different conversation you have with Jafar. Because I mean, like the way that they were, it would be like if LeBron cheated on Savannah, had a baby with Lala, and then Carmelo left his girl and had a baby with D Wade or Chris Paul. Like, they were operating that close. And LeBron and D Wade, they're not brothers. They were brothers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And cousin siblings and all these different things. Like, that is so messy. And that was none of Michael Jackson's life. He was trying to separate himself from that much.
That shit. Yeah.
And like, they downplay like just like the victory, how they made it seem like it was just Joe that signed on from that. They don't show the scene when the brothers signed on because they needed the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That little stuff is who Michael Jackson is. I just can't imagine that as a person who did so much and was as successful as he was. You know what I'm saying? So overall, though, like you said, I really enjoyed it. Uh, I would put it up there, kind of like a like Crush Groove. You've seen Crush Groove before, right?
Yeah. I actually should rewatch that.
Hey,
That's a classic though. I think
watch
I'm getting
Crush
some
Groove,
crap from my
bro.
mom and daddy about that one.
I watched Crush Groove like 2 months ago. Like, that's kind of my thing. Now I watch a random movie from the 90s, 80s as an adult just because it's like, okay, I can appreciate it. Bro,
Right.
Crush Groove is a cold movie. I could
Nice.
see how at the time you could be like, oh, this ain't the real hip. It's not. But in hindsight, it left a really good marker, and it makes me wish. And it might be something I actually been thinking about. I need to dedicate myself to is telling more hip hop stories. Like, I'm sure somebody on Tubi has a story about like, but I've been wanting to write a story about like, yeah, we in a rap crew, and one of our homies get shot, and then they make the video about it. And now we
Mm.
make a video about it. Now my homie gets shot. Now I blow up. Now I gotta keep
Oh,
it.
the vicious op cycle.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so it's just so many things of our culture. But Michael Jackson was just like an enigma on another level, and
Yeah.
the excellence, bro. Like the excellence. You gotta fall in
Yeah.
love with the excellence, bro.
No, for sure. Because I saw it last night. I know I was telling you I hadn't got to catch it yet or whatever, but I seen the review, so I made sure to go see it literally last night. So it's still very fresh in my brain. Bro, when I got home, first thing I pulled up was where Michael Jackson popped out with Jay-Z at Summer Jam.
Bro.
Like, what are we talking about? Taking a picture with Rockefeller and all of them, throwing up the diamond sign. I'm like, oh, and then my lady, she like, oh damn, like Mike out there with the rappers and shit. I'm like, yes, Mike was like he still is a real nigga from Gary ass Indiana with a
Bro.
Gary ass Indiana family. They rich as hell. I know it's been plenty of times they threw some big ass barbecues or family reunions or whatever on his dime. Mike was a generous guy. I will say that. I've always heard that about him or whatever. But then also like it was one of the scenes where he was like practicing the moves of James Brown. And then I had pulled up the scene and showed her when the random
With
concert that
Prince.
Michael Jackson and Prince was both there.
Hey, that's a cold clip, bro.
Battle on stage. That was some of the most iconic. Like I wanted that to also be in the film as well. I had a quick little Prince joke, but like bring that shit in, bro.
And and to your point, I think that that's something that you would have to do on outside of the family. You know, I'm real happy that they're gonna make a part 2, and I'm real curious to see how they handle the scandal and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
Michael
they definitely
Jackson is
stopped like right before that shit started getting wicked.
But Michael Jackson, you know, after he did We Are the World and start changing stuff and was really promoting positivity for people to try to take him down in that way. And to your point, I'm not, as a kid, I got the Michael Jackson jokes. You know what I'm saying? I will be one of the first people to admit that I have watched the South Park episode with Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, it's a classic episode. It's still funny.
Insane amount of times, and
yeah.
you know, Living Color, and everybody got a Michael Jackson joke.
Right. Same way they got a Tina Turner joke. Damn near.
Some of it is like, but it comes from love, and it's real clear when somebody's trying to take them down, or you could tell somebody trying to be funny. Like I know I love Mike, but Mike did look funny when he ripped the shirt off, and now he in the puddle. And yeah, that shit is it's funny too.
Yeah. Also, he has a sissy humor. He might have thought it was funny, nigga. Like
you know what I mean?
Mike was on that type of time.
So, speaking of Mike, super famous people last night had the Met Gala. Now the big controversy is, you know, Jeff Bezos was a huge sponsor. Of the Met Gala. And our artists, actresses, I've seen Jennifer Lewis and Taraji P. Henson speak out about celebrities' involvement there.
Okay. Could you fill me in? Because I actually missed it. And I saw a couple people comment on their statements, but I did not catch the statements.
So I can't remember Taraji P. Henson's, but it was more so just like people being like, damn, celebrities still showed up, even though, you know, you've been seeing the protests that people have been projecting, the videos on Jeff Bezos.
I thought that shit was super tight. Super tight.
For people that don't know, like, yeah, they've been projecting onto his house. His penthouse, you know.
I think he might have the most expensive crib in New York now. He definitely got the most expensive one in DC.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's Jeff Bezos, but it just adds to the gross profiteering, hyper capitalist, evil billionaireness of it all.
And Jennifer Lewis basically just was like, they need more fame. So she sang a little like they need more fame. They still showed up. They know all these people will lose. They lost 30,000 jobs, but they still
Right.
showed up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And she is of a different generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a different ilk being Big St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? So I I see. I guess I will say this. Like, I understand the fashion part and the art part of it, and why, if you get the opportunity to participate, and what it may
I
mean
mean,
for the
it's a
designers.
chance of a
Yeah,
lifetime. I can't
yeah,
even knock an artist for being, or even if Beyonce been there for the first time in 10 years, but like I understand why she took 10 years to come back, but I also understand the first time that she would have pulled up as well, you know?
right.
Yeah.
And but all black artists obviously aren't invited. All didn't go. People saying
Mhm.
Zendaya didn't go. Zendaya didn't go, maybe because of that reason.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I guess my question to you would be like, is the Met Gala? I'm not gonna say it's still relevant because it's relevant to the people that is relevant to.
Yeah.
Everything now is in silos, but like, yeah, just your thoughts, just
I
overall.
mean, I I think because of social media, it becomes a larger discussion because there's so much pomp and circumstance and like celebrity involved now, and like celebrities become trending topics. So I think it might feel bigger because we're all amplifying it in real time in the moment that it's happening. And they have live streams of the red carpet and all this other shit now. Cool, fine, dandy. But I think, to me personally, I think that the Met Gala is still mostly only an influential or big deal to the people that have always really given a shit about it, which tends to be members of the art world and people within the fashion industry, for real, for real. And folks who are adjacent to those sort of like worlds who get invited, your ASAP Rockies and Rihanna's of the world. What's buddy name? The F1 driver, Jeff, was it Hamilton or
Jeff
whatever?
Hamilton with
He
Kim
pulled up,
Kardashian.
in the past. He looked good, in years prior. I don't know if he was there this year. I didn't see any pictures or anything, but all of that stuff. Yeah, and it's a big PR play, but also the bigger thing to me, because I was having a conversation with one of my younger coworkers about this yesterday. It's like my little bro or whatever, and he had seen a lot of the discourse about the Jeff Bezos component, but then also like his fashion, art fashion, yada 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 yada. We was kind of rapping about that, and I was also just I reminded him also that like this is a fundraiser for the Met, who still operates as an art institution. So also none of this to me is morally any more conflicting than anything else. The Met Gala is a big deal because it's in New York. It's the fucking Met, and they have this big fashion industry overlap with it, with Vogue and their partnership with it. But quite literally, if you've ever been to any other museum or gallery fundraiser, it's a bunch of rich bourgeoisie. They are the Medicis are no longer like one family, like Kanye wanted or whatever when he was trying to get that opportunity for Yeezy,
Yeah,
which I would love if a Bezos or a Gates or somebody or a Musk really did throw money at the arts like that, but that's already dead and gone and past. So
yeah,
that's not going to happen. But at the same time, these are the people whose names are wings of chapters or are donating to renovations for the most prestigious institutions and even small galleries. They are the ones who fund all of the grant programs when it's time to apply. Like that still is a thing. The very, very wealthy tend to be the biggest supporters of the arts. And I'm not saying it's by design, but at the same time, it's an old legacy. Old money be working that way. They go to the museum balls and the fun. That's part of what you do. When you got enough money, you become a philanthropist. You
that's what you
donate.
do. Yeah,
So I I'm always here for the discourse because I think that that is an important thing to have, and it's a lot of engaging conversations and enlightenment and education that can come from it. But I don't. I tend to get upset more by something that surprises me at this point in my life, and I've probably been like that for some years. I don't typically get upset about that because, of course, Jeff Bezos or some other random billionaire is going to be there if they're also front row at Trump's inaugurational ball, and literally their brands depend on the creator economy,
yeah,
essentially. Like Jeff Bezos has a mean ass fucking like recommendation affiliate program that Amazon runs.
Right.
Some of the people that were there that were fashion influencers, I'm sure, like a Wisdom, he might have some links dropping for some Amazon money for him to make his bread. So it's capitalism at the end of the day, and just the moral decay that it brings, but especially in the capital of capitalism, the US of A, and the capital of capitalism in the capitalist nation, New York City, the place
Right.
that Monopoly was based off of. So I guess in that way, I typically am not upset about these moments that happen because there are bigger systemic issues that we really need to like be focusing on long term, as opposed to, oh, this happened, then Jeff Bezos, I don't know, buys the Chicago Sky, or a fucking theater, or some, whatever the fuck another rich motherfucker does.
Mhm.
So I don't love it, but it's not that they're in the same room together. It's the fact that Jeff Bezos is obnoxiously, disgustingly, devastatingly wealthy and is rubbing shoulders with people who essentially are supposed to represent this moral standard as artists. I do believe that many artists should be called to that. I think that there's something to be said about that. But yeah, Jay-Z and Beyonce was already hanging out at like some of them mega donor, super donor, like fucking dinners like months ago. People was mad about it. And yes, I still listen to Jay-Z is definitely a capitalist. He tries to defend the whole thing or whatever. And we could critique and have conversations about whether he should or shouldn't play into it. But I've known some people that worked at Rock Nation and said that it was not nice working there. So
Mhm.
yes, should have some pushback for being a person that exploits labor. He might not have fucked everybody else over or laid off 30,000 people in a warehouse in Georgia to replace them with robots. But Jay-Z
Mhm.
did some finessing and finagling. I don't think Nicki Minaj should win her case, but I think some of her accusations are probably valid. I'm pretty sure Hov gave niggas a timeline. You either in or you out, and he ain't answering your call if you call him after the fact. It just
Yeah.
is, but that is a move that lacks empathy. Like that does not make you great in a character lens to me, but
Yeah.
also you bout your bread.
Right. And the music industry already is predatory.
Yeah, especially
Um, it's already predatory, and it's kind of it's always had been a smoke and mirrors thing because three artists can keep a label up. You know what I mean? And you got
right,
20
right.
A&R, so it's like everybody not A&R a thing. You know what I mean? So from that kind of standpoint, it's already kind of predatory because you're always going to end up with less in that sense,
Right,
technically, because that's how you have to do it, and everybody has to make money, and you have to continuously spend money. You
right,
know what I'm
right,
saying? So
right,
like that's
right.
something that people don't get.
You,
Not to say
it's
that it
it's
wasn't
almost
shitty.
incentivized because you got to write shit off on your.
You have
Drake
to.
make Universal so much money, bro. It's so many artists over there right
You
now
have
who's
to.
not gonna get released because you a write off for the label because
Literally.
Drake is making Universal so much money. They gotta balance the book. It's all I mean, and even beyond the music, like the art world, bro. It's money laundering, the drug trade, sex trafficking. It's so many other things. The underworld is right there, lock in step with almost every industry and sphere that we as a society loves, cares about, and aspires to be a part of. From
Yeah.
sports to film to music to art to fashion to influencing to travel, like to restaurants. Like that shit is right there. It's right there, bro. The corruption, the greediness, the treating people bad. The only thing is motherfuckers don't work over there. And I mean, like, it's a lot of virtue signaling that goes on. I think we should continue to signal virtues. We should always be aspiring for more. And I do think that capitalism, greed, and like being super rich inherently, like they have studies out there that show that you become greedier and things like that. And greed is one of the seven deadly sins, bro. When you get corrupted by greed, you will eventually start doing some other things because you are now a greedy person. You will lie, you will steal, you will connive, you will trick people to try to get a leg up and a couple extra points when that album drop. Just random shit like that. And the same way we talk about how, like, in the hood you live in certain conditions, you become a product of your environment. Basically, you in the jungle, so you become an animal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that America's economic system is that on a larger scale. And we are all products of the environment that America has created for us, because we don't have strong social safety nets. We don't have universal health care. We don't have free higher education or decent education in general. We aren't caring about our air and water. It's so many things that quite literally your quality of life depends on how much money that you make. It forces all of us in one way or another. Because if you're working in America and you're not broke, you probably have bent the knee or compromised a little bit of your shit in some capacity. It may not be a big thing where I'm calling you a bad person, but all of us have made it. If you got a smartphone, bro, and you talking about Uganda and the Congo and Palestine right now, it's like it's cooked. We recording this shit on Mac computers right now, bro. Like it's tough. And I mean, it get down to that because people will point at the one thing, and it's so many of them that it becomes a whataboutism kind of thing. And I'm not even trying to go down that path, but I'm just saying it's so deep on the systemic thing. It's like, bro, the person that you buy weed from, the dispensary or street weed, is like their pipeline of how they got their product still has human trafficking involved in it. Like it's all fucked. So I don't be knowing, bro. I just be trying to like do right, educate self, cultivate others, some niggas get their money up so they can boost their escrow accounts, and like truly like just preach, meditate, educate for real, and like spread love, bro. Cause how we started in this beginning of this conversation, it becomes more and more bleak. I still have hope, and I think 2026 and 2028 are going to be highly pivotal years for us as a nation, and truly the impact it has on the rest of the world. But like, it's truly scary season when you actually peel back the layers. And niggas be logging off. I posted something on my story maybe a week or so ago talking about how many people zone out and no longer pay attention to the news because they don't want to feel bad. Mm-hmm. It's like that doesn't stop the Voting Rights Act from getting stripped away. Like, what are you talking? And I get it because it's stressful. It makes you anxious. It don't matter if it's political or not. Whatever it is, you running away from the problems and the things that make you nervous and anxious about life and ignoring them doesn't change it. It only prolongs your fears and anxieties. You have to confront these things.
Man, you always end us on a good note. That was a great note. I don't even want to go any further than that. Let's commit to definitely trying to get back on next week.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll definitely make some time.
We
ain't talk about the playoffs, and by the time this shit happened, LeBron might not be in it no more.
LeBron might not be in it. Drake album might be out, so we might have a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's some shit. It's some shit going on. Yeah,
but peace to y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. Stay safe out there. It's a lot going on, but keep doing the best that you can, and we'll stay here, keep rocking it, man.
Yeah, like Erykah Badu say, man, I stay woke.
Till next time.
Peace.